name's Lindsay Christensen, this is my dad Finn, and we're going to talk to you guys today about a basic bow hunting setup for women. So first step is you need to know what your draw length is when shopping for a bow. So my dad is going to show us how to measure draw length or at least get an approximate guesstimate of draw length, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, I like to measure what I call the wingspan. Hold your arms out straight and forward a little bit. Measure across from fingertip to fingertip, and Lindsay's about 64.5 inches. And if you use, there's a couple of different formulas. The easiest one is the wingspan divided by 2.5. Another one is wingspan minus 15 divided by 2. And they'll get you really close as far as your draw length.
So my wingspan is 64 divided by 2.5 is about 25.5 inches. And if I was shooting a wrist strap release, my draw length would be about 25.5 inches. Next up is draw weight. And most women can only safely pull 35 to 45 pounds starting out. So you want to make sure that you start light and work up, because you don't want a shoulder injury. A shoulder injury could result in problems with shooting or inability to draw your bow for the rest of your life. So, like I mentioned, 35 to 40 or 45 pounds starting out. Most of your bows will have the weight of the bow down here, but we would also recommend going to a pro shop when buying bows so they can help you with these things like draw length and draw weight. So once you have your draw length figured out and an approximate weight, it's time to go shopping. And there are a lot of good bows out there at an average price point. My dad can tell you some of the models.
Some of the ones I'm most familiar with are the Hoyt Power Max, the PSE Drive, and of course the Quest Thrive.
This bow.
They're all adjustable as far as draw length goes and poundage. They're not terribly expensive, so just to start out with, those three are ones that we're familiar with, and it'd be a good choice to start with.
Next step would be a rest. You want to look for something that is least likely to fail out in the field. So with minimal moving parts, and a good rest would be, a good starting out rest would be a whisker biscuit, because everything is fixed. It's not going to fail, like it's not going to drop, forget to drop, or something like that when you shoot. So a whisker biscuit would be a great rest to start out with. Do you want to talk about sights?
Next thing is probably a sight, and this particular bow comes as a package all set up with a sight, a rest, and a quiver, and a stabilizer. As far as the sight goes, a 3 to 5 pin fixed sight is usually a good starting point. You want to get one that's fairly easy to adjust, and this particular one is fairly easy to adjust. It's got knobs that you can just loosen and slide back and forth or up and down, then tighten the knob down. Some of them you have to use Allen wrenches to do that. Some of the more expensive ones are micro adjust. You can just click them. But a basic fixed pin sight that's fairly easy to adjust is a good starting point.
So arrows next, let's talk about arrows. There are a lot of different arrow manufacturers out there, and what you need to look for is something that is compatible with your setup. So you're looking at your draw length and your draw weight, and you're looking for an arrow with the appropriate spine or stiffness. You don't want something that's too stiff or too light, because it can cause tuning issues. So you're going to want to pull up that manufacturer's chart, spine chart, which you can find on the internet or in a lot of the catalogs at the pro shops, and make sure that you find something that is compatible with your draw length and draw weight.
As far as releases go, there's two basic styles that you might use for hunting. This is what we call a wrist strap, index finger release. This one has a Velcro strap. It's fairly quick and easy to put on. They also make ones with buckles, which I'm a fan of the buckle. It's more consistent in your placement. If you don't get the Velcro done up the same spot, your trigger position is going to move. Okay, so I personally like a buckle release. The other style is a handheld release. We don't have one for a...
And I use a handheld.
Yeah, she shoots a handheld all the time. I use a lot of handheld for target archery a lot, but I also use a wrist strap for target archery and for hunting. So there's a couple of different choices there. One thing that you need to consider is the style of your release can affect your draw length a little bit too.
And then last would be broadheads, which I don't have any here, but every state has regulations as far as broadheads go. So for example, here in Idaho, we can't use anything mechanical. So fixed blade broadheads are our only choice. So when you're looking for a broadhead, make sure you know the regulations for the state that you're planning to hunt in.
And a quiver to hold your arrows. This one is a nice one. It is super easy to detach. So a lot of bow cases won't hold a bow with an arrow full of, or with a quiver full of arrows in the case. So a lot of times you need to remove that quiver, set it aside. Something like this, you can take off, put back on in just a second. So
we think that just about covers everything with a basic bow hunting setup. Look forward to more videos from us in the future.